YouTubers, welcome to my channel. Lots been going on since I filmed my last video. Can't keep up with this nonsense. We are going to talk about it because we got to keep people in check. Goodness knows I get checked when I need to be checked. So I'm going to check people when they need to be checked. Check. I'm gonna check you. I'm gonna check this woman because this is some craziness. So this most recent thing is that she came out on her archetypes talking about how she felt like a bimbo. It's so interesting and it's really revealing to look at the things that Meghan is complaining about now, that she sits on her high tower and she's looking down telling people that this is wrong, I did it, I hated it, and it's wrong, and anybody else is doing it, you wrong. Because I'm on my high tower now and I can see this is wrong. It's easy to sit on your high tower and to look at people and say, this is bad. And even if you look at it and think it's bad, what about the people that are doing it? And I'm talking about when she was on this show, Deal or No Deal. And she felt like a bimbo. These are the words she used. The girl used the word bimbo. I think it is so just disingenuous for you as an actor to speak like this is just wrong. It's just making me feel like I'm just no good. I'm not using my brains. I'm smart. I'm standing here with this number and I want to be smart. I want to be smart and I'm standing here and I feel like I'm a slut. I'm a skank. Well, you kind of are still a skank, but I'm a skank and I'm doing all these things. I gotta quit, I gotta leave. And then she says she leaves the show. But what about the women that are still doing it or who did it? Give me a job doing it. I'll go stand up there. I'd hold a number. I do a lot of things. There's things that you would do when you are trying to get somewhere. And this woman thinks that because she's then arrived at where she needs to arrive, she can criticize people, especially other women who are actors, especially. I'm sure these women aren't trying to get this as a job to be an actor. It's something that is going to propel you to the next step. And you can't tell me that when Meghan was on this show, it didn't help her in other ways. But yet she's going to criticize it as being something that is less than. Let's take a look at what Whoopi Goldberg said about it.
Okay, I just want to say that on that show, you basically had a suitcase and they wanted to know, is this the deal you want or this is not the deal you want? I don't know that the people who are sitting there are thinking about you like that. They're thinking, I want the money. Let me have it. Because Vanna White is always in something interesting and beautiful, and she's been doing this. And the objectification might be coming from you and how you felt about how these women were being portrayed. And that's what you have to change, because we're performers. When you're a performer, you take the gig.
Yeah.
You take the gig. Sometimes you're in a bozo suit. Sometimes you got a big nose. And this is just the way it is. We're not journalists. So it's you know, and especially when we're talking about stuff like this in terms of women. Yes, that is what the style is. But maybe somebody has to write a new game show. Yeah. Maybe Sonny has to write a new game show about being on
some big girls or on the body
video.
Positivity, you know.
Right. And then you have Sunny Houston. I used to like her, that Sunny girl. I don't like her now. I don't like her anymore. You know why? It's not that I don't like her as a person, but her comments now, she just seems like she's so much more than as well, and she made this comment once that, well, if you don't go to college, you're not going to make as much money and you need to go to college and college. Well, people go to trade schools and learn crafts and do things that don't require going to college, and they make a lot of money. And that is something that is a lot easier to do because you have to have more tenacity. You have to be much more willing to get what you want out of life when you don't do things that look good on paper. So I just resented when she said that in another episode, but she was saying that, well, Meghan maybe have said this because this is how it made her feel. This is how it made me feel. So we don't want to hear how it made you feel. Well, your voice, you could just simply, keep that to yourself, because there are women that have done it that are still doing it. Well, I don't think the show is still on, but there are women that did this. It's just like you're just calling them bimbos, essentially, from your high tower. And it's so wrong. It's so wrong to stand there and to preach on your podcast about how it made you feel. It's complete contradiction to how other women, or another lady that came out and said that it didn't make them feel like that. It didn't make them feel like bimbos. I mean, they're dressed very respectfully. They're not getting up there twerking with the booties all out. They're standing there with a suitcase with a number on it. And you're looking beautiful. People love to look at beautiful women. You certainly ain't getting up there doing your vanity spread looking like all disheveled and all just out of place and unkept and with your clothes all wrinkled, and you're looking respectable. That's what people do. These women on this show looked respectable. They weren't doing anything that made them seem like the things that you said. And it's just showing us the character of this woman, that she wants to be on her high tower. She wants to be looking down at people preaching about how these things you should not be doing anymore. And like what she spoke about with the other shows with Austin Powers and the women who were being objectified as Asian women. But yet she would have killed to do these things when she was that age, when she was without her royal wedding ring. She would have done those things. It's so easy to criticize people when you're no longer in a position where you have to do what you got to do. When you don't have to do what you got to do to get to where you want to be, you can say a lot of things. And it is so appalling and it is so rude and disrespectful to just sit on your high tower and just call down at the world like y'all wrong, y'all wrong, y'all wrong. Oh, and y'all over there, y'all wrong too. Everybody wrong. I'm here. I'm married to royalty. I don't need no handouts. I don't need no money. I don't need to work for nothing. Everybody's wrong. And I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to talk about how wrong you are now. She going to sit on her high tower and just complain about things, knowing full well she would have done it when she had the chance. And she did do it. She did do it. This woman, let me tell you, she's doing things that I think are going to get her in a place that she ain't going to even be able to show her face anymore in Hollywood. She really needs to try to be a little bit more about how she's failed as a royal. I think if anything, sit on your high tower and talk about how you weren't able to accomplish your goals as a foreigner marrying into royalty. Let's talk about that. Can we talk about that? Can we really kind of keep it real in the sense that you did not understand the culture, nor did you want to understand the culture? You had a whole way of coming into this to put yourself on the map, so to speak, of I'm famous. We can talk about all the things that Miss Meghan Markle has done that are wrong, that are clearly wrong. And that's what people need to be doing. People need to look at how she has married into this marriage on a false pretense to use people, to use charities, to use vulnerable people to get what she wants as somebody who wants to be looked as the savior of the world. This is how people need to be speaking about her, because it's clear for a lot of people to see. Because her speaking on her high tower about all the wrongs of Hollywood and the women are out there trying to pay their bills. Look, I ain't gonna ever fault a woman who is modest in composure and out there doing the work. She doing it, she getting it done. But this is a woman who's yelling with a big mouth, trying to tell everybody what was wrong with Hollywood when she was auditioning for roles 20 years ago. And she gonna sit there and tell people that they wrong. You know what? You speaking out about this is wrong. How about that? Let's just turn the tables on you. Woman, you gotta stop it. You gotta stop making what you are doing. You're not faring well with people trying to like you. And at this point, I think you're at a point of no return. In the beginning, when I started this, I was like, okay, let me give you some advice. Okay, you should not do this. This is wrong. You should not do this in a very nice, humble kind of a way. But now the girl is just gone all sidetracked. She done disrupted the royal family with her hate of how she has treated the royals. And now she's trying to speak from her high tower about things that are wrong in Hollywood. It just seems so disingenuous because she's not coming from a place of talent with the things that she is doing now. With her podcast archetypes, like what has she experienced in life? What has she actually done that that affords her the voice to be heard about whatever she's speaking about. Why should people listen to you? What have you gone through that would make you be the voice of reason? Because you being the voice of reason for Hollywood is just a contradiction to the things that you've already done. Look, let's look at what you've done already. Let's look. Yeah, you've done some things. You've looked like a skank and you look like a bimbo. If you want to call yourself a bimbo, okay, you look like a bimbo. You want people talking about all the things that you have done in the vehicle when you were caught on film, in a part where you were doing something with a boy in a car when you were playing a high school kid. Yes, let's talk about it. So do you see how it's so disingenuous to speak about things as, how they made you feel and why you quit it, and why you may have been able to quit it because you knew your daddy was the backup. Your daddy was going to help pay your bills. Yeah, the daddy that you don't speak to anymore. I have a problem with Meghan Markle. I don't think that is no secret. But with everything that I say about what this woman does, there has to be a teachable moment. There has to be something good that can come out of it. Something that she can do to be better. Because there's a lot of things that Meghan has done and what she has said. She's not trying to be better. She's not trying to hold herself accountable to anything. The majority of what she is doing is pointing the finger at people, being the victim, and really trying to divert her own responsibility and trying to reflect irresponsibility on those that may not even have a choice to do what they're doing. But to cast disparaging words against women who say that they didn't feel this way, or I had to do it, I needed the money, I think is so disingenuous, and it really speaks a lot for her character. It speaks a lot for how she is trying now to look down on people so that she can come rescue you, okay? Because that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to come rescue you from your badness, okay? Well, this is what I say. I'm here. I'm trying to rescue Miss Meghan Markle from your stupidness.